start recording. Awesome. Well, welcome everyone to TNG Online Connect. So the whole purpose of this, if you haven't been before, is a online resource of education. So spotlighting some TNG members and guest speakers that we can bring in to speak towards certain topics that you're interested in. So if there is something that you want to learn about, do get in touch with Melanie or myself and we can find a speaker for that. Otherwise, there's also an opportunity to network with TNG members from across the New Zealand. So there's several of us from all across the North Island. So it's wonderful to see you're here. In terms of the run of the meeting today, so we have Catherine Cooke from Leading Business Edge, who's going to be sharing some wisdom today. While she's chatting, I just ask if you'd mute yourself, and then she'll chat for about half an hour, and then we'll do some questions and answers for about 15 minutes, and then we'll do a quick wrap around the room, and you can introduce yourself and what you do. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Catherine to you guys. So she's going to be chatting about brand strategy and how strong is yours. So a little bit about Catherine. So she is a business advisor and founder of The Engine and has been helping hundreds and hundreds of businesses over the last 7 years build their brand, work on digital marketing strategies, and she's really just a leader in that space when it comes to branding and marketing. So really excited to learn more about what you've got to share today. So Catherine, please take it away.
Thanks, Dan. So I don't get a chance to turn my video off, do I? I have to be on the whole time. No, I'm just joking.
You have to, yeah.
So nice to see everybody, and thank you for stepping outside of your businesses today to come and learn something that could perhaps help you in your business. And yes, I have helped hundreds and hundreds of businesses, but I'm only as good as the people that I work with. So I just want to acknowledge those people who I work with in the engine. Zoe is one of them, and she's actually on here today. And without Zoe, I probably wouldn't be on time in some places because I tend to roll from one meeting to another. But I also have a good suite of specialist providers that I work with. So look, today I'm here to talk to you about branding, and I actually have a presentation. So you're probably not going to see a lot of me. You're going to hear a lot from me, but not see a lot of me. Really, first and foremost, I'm actually going to give you some secrets. So there's secrets of the engine. So did you get the confidentiality clause that I emailed to all of you before this meeting? Oh, then I can't continue. Sorry, Dan. Anyway, nice to see a few people smiling. But yes, look, today I'm here to talk to you about basically branding and marketing. And so I'm just going to get right into the presentation. If for some reason you can't hear the sound, could you let me know ASAP? Because obviously we're running on a technical thing of trying to run a film studio in all of our houses right now, and things can go wrong. So I'm just going to start sharing my screen. And look, if there are any questions and they're quite pressing, feel free to put them in the chat room. I may not see them as I'm running through until I get to see the chat room, but I will get there. Anyway, thank you all for being here. I'm just going to get right into it. Whoa, so got a bit. So I'm Catherine Cooke, and I'm here to talk to you today about how storytelling builds your tribe, builds your community. My first question that I always ask to business owners is, do you have a brand strategy, and how strong is it? A lot of the time they say, yes, we do have a brand strategy, but then I find out that their employees don't even know about it. Their customers don't even know about it. So you've got to have a brand strategy that everybody knows about, because then they become the promoters that are going to actually be promoting your brand. They're also going to be engaged, and they're also going to be on board as influencers and promoters. So today, what we're going to be talking about is obviously who I am. So I'm going to start a little bit with that. So The Engine is a leading business advisory, coaching and building management capability firm. And we operate in all these areas of business and more. But our main ethos is that we help businesses grow. So the topic today is marketing is like asking someone on a date, and branding is the reason why they say yes. So no, I'm not going to be putting all of you guys on any kind of dating profile. But the reality is that when you turn up and you are looking to go on a date, whether it be with a client or a potential client or a potential business person, you've got to actually have a brand. You've got to separate yourself out. That's why they say yes. So a little bit about me, because obviously you need to know who's behind the brand of the engine. So I'm going to talk to you about my journey, my story, adversity to advocacy. So this is a younger version of me, not that too many years ago, but yeah, probably maybe a few decades. But I'm one of 8 kids, and I was raised by my mum in a state house in Auckland. And my mum worked 3 jobs. She's now 88. She's the star of my life. She's very active and my real inspiration. From 18 to 22 years, I held 3 jobs, and I bought my first home at 22. So I've always had a high capacity for work. At 27 years of age, I had a major health setback. I had an aneurysm and I lost the hearing completely in my left ear. At 28 years, I became a mum to my son, and then I had a premature daughter at 31. These are my children all growing up. They're my pride and joy, and both are now enjoying life in the military. My daughter Holly is especially grateful because she was a supermarket girl, not by choice, but because her mother got her a job at the supermarket, and now she's in the military. So family to me is everything. This is basically my career. So in 1999, I was a product manager and then a general manager in wholesale. I had a career prior to that in finance, but I thought I'd start at 1999 because it shows you where I went. In 2001, I launched an all black children's wear brand for a client that for a company that I was the general manager for. And then I also started my own business, and that was in Buzzy Bee children's wear. So I saw the Buzzy Bee iconic brand, and I approached them and said, hey, we should be doing children's wear, and I started it. In 2005, I left the company I was working for and went fully out into my own business. And I started with 4 staff. By 2007, I had 18 people. I was nominated Employer of the Year, and I ended up being runner-up. At that point, it was quite interesting because I thought, I had a lot of staff, I was running around ragged, and I realized, reality check, I had no vision. I was just flying by the seat of my pants. So I was going to have to turn up at this award and not even know who I was. So I sat down with my staff and said, hey, we need to stop. We need to figure out who we are, because we are doing all this stuff and we're doing well, but eventually we're going to actually hit a collision point. So we came up with a vision, and it was a vision that was jointly done by my staff and myself. And so what I would actually encourage all of you to do is really sit down with your people and actually understand who you are and where you're going. So your vision needs to be obviously about a roadmap, the destination, the mission is how we're going to get there. And the values is obviously what we're going to do to be able to execute the vision and the mission. So once we got ourselves back on track, we basically secured the rights of Rugby World Cup. And so in 2008, I was secured the rights of Rugby World Cup 2011 and also got the Cooke license and launched the BLK and the franchise brand that I created in 2011. So people need to know what you do and what you sell. They need to know who is behind the brand and the promise. And obviously when you're building brand equity, you've got to do it through storytelling, and that identifies who you are, who your tribe is, how your story tell your brand, and what people will say to you about your friends. So for me, behind the engine, I obviously have to come out from behind the website and let people know who I am. And how do I do that? I do that by being a broadcaster. I'm an approved broadcaster on LinkedIn Live. I do that by sending out a newsletter to 10,000 plus businesses on a week. I provide the value add. When I provide the value add, I can also include other things in the value add. I can include client endorsement. So one thing that you need to be doing while you're on this COVID sabbatical at home is you need to be contacting your client and getting these testimonials and building up your storytelling. Even if it's just contacting your client and then being able to write a blog about, you know, obviously what you've done with that client and then putting a testimonial in place. That's what you could be working on right now. So they need to know who is behind the brand. They need to know what your promise is, and then you need to do your storytelling. And we're going to get more into that now. So marketing is like asking someone on a date. This is me last year with my husband. And this coming weekend, not this weekend, but this coming weekend after, we would have been married a year. So Peter and I, we met 5 years ago in Soul Bar. There was a whole lot of people in the Soul Bar, I can tell you. But just by chance, we met. And obviously, when I come to talk to you about branding, obviously, when you're looking at a potential client or you're looking at a potential partner in a relationship, you're looking at the values. Peter and I shared the same values. So what my whole emphasis or my whole discussion is about today is when you're in the bar or when you're meeting the client, who do you choose? Who's your client going to choose? If they've got 3 business advisors, who are they going to choose? In the same way, who are you going to choose as a partner? You need to have a unique selling point. I'm not saying I sold myself to my husband, and that was meant to be a fun jest comment for you today. So it'd be interesting to see how many are listening and smiling. But what I'm really saying is that a promise lasts a lifetime. You need to show your trustworthiness. You need to be able to show your trustworthiness and to deliver on your promise. So just like other big brands that we know that do marketing, KFC, Pack and Save, H&M, Mitre 10, The Warehouse, all of these people, they're always in our face with marketing. They're on TV, they're in printed material. They all walk together in doing the same type of advertising. But who are you and why would I buy from you? So secret number 1, the reason that you signed a non-disclosure agreement with me today is your brand defines you. You need to be storytelling. We're going to go more into that now. I'm going to take you down a road of nostalgia. Now, I might need to stop sharing the screen, Dan, and go back because obviously I've got to actually share it and do the sound at the same time. So I just want to play this ad for you guys. What's happening here?
So if you want to discover your closest competitors, all you have to do is navigate to
Like technicality, let's just stop.
Here you'll see your top
ads, right?
Bear with me for a second.
Have to get you an ad blocker.
And the birds and the horses were moving and laughing and whistling and mating, having lunch in the sun, while Hugo and I were having none. In the back seat we sat, getting thinner. The rumblings cried, give us Kentucky Fried, time for dinner. Dad stopped the car, and Hugo said, you go.
And I said, no, you go.
And soon he was back with the pack. And then Dad hit the track. So we ate in the back, feeling better inside. A drive isn't funny with an empty tummy.
So the reason I was showing you that ad is basically since the early 1970s when, or basically when TV came on, people started advertising, and advertising was to build an emotional connection with people. Now, obviously KFC did that ad because they wanted children to see the ad and to say, Mum and Dad, we want KFC. So KFC has evolved from that. Naturally, we say to our children, don't go to KFC, but back in the day, that was the fast food. And so they were very clever and very strategic in their advertising and putting children in and creating an emotional connection. So part of storytelling is actually making an emotional connection with people. Now I just need to for some reason, get to my next page. Here we go. I'm going to show you another ad.
When your toes get cold or your nose turns blue, You can see your breath in the living room. Turn it up. Briscoe's turn up the heat. With the switch on H, turn the dial to red. King size heat when you rest your head. Turn it up. Briscoe's turn up the heat.
All the top brands in heating at unbeatable prices, guaranteed.
Briscoe's will never buy better.
Now, the reason I showed you that ad is most people don't know that Tammy is only an actress. But since 1995, Tammy has been building a relationship with all New Zealanders that whenever we see Tammy, we trust her. So Tammy has become the iconic, trusted person that we put all our trust in to go and buy at Briscoe's. So that strategic storytelling for Briscoe's has been, let's find somebody that resonates with Kiwis and keep her in place. And a lot of people, it was like this big reveal only recently in the last few years that we found out that Tammy is only an actress and not actually part of the staff. So Tammy built emotional connection and built trust. But if Briscoe's was to do that now, that trust would be severely broken because a lot of people were almost up in arms going, oh my God, we thought Tammy was part of Briscoe's. But she was so deeply entrenched in what we know to be able to go and make these purchases at Briscoe's that Tammy's been inviting us into Briscoe's and we've been making our purchases. So one last ad that I want to share with you. Again, there's another one. This is obviously Grizz from the All Blacks.
Trouble?
Not looking for any.
Can I give you a lift?
Yeah, great.
Quite a tea, thanks, mate.
Say, don't I know you?
Don't I know you?
You're not Welsh, are you?
Polish.
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 Good on you. Come on,
I'll introduce you.
Morning, John.
Good morning, Alex. Working bee?
Yeah. John, he owns the store. Good bloke. John, this is,
Windsor Davis. A bitch. Polish.
At Mitre 10, you'll get a special kind of extra service because the person who runs the store owns the store with a personal stake in making sure you always get the best every time. Guaranteed.
Lovely boy.
So the reason I showed you that ad, obviously, is Grizz built trust, humour, and it was actually advertising that was directed at blokes. So very strategic. So again, with storytelling, they needed to pick an iconic person, someone that people could resonate with, someone that had sort of dark, deep humour, but obviously on point with driving people to Mitre 10. So that's very strategic in storytelling. Storytelling builds brand equity and mana. There's a direct relationship between brand equity and storytelling. For a strong relationship, your brand must be visible and it must be exciting. It must be at the front and the center of your consumer's mind through real story, building emotional connection, and that will build trust. The brand will have a strong customer loyalty, retention, and promotion by your customers. Now, the reason I'm telling you about this is even at the engine, we're one brand of advisory company amongst a whole lot of advisory companies out there. But what we did to separate ourselves is we took our brand to TV. And we didn't just take our brand to TV, we took our customers to TV. We took our providers to TV. And in order to do that, we were endorsing our brand. We were being front and center. We were creating visibility and traction. And through that, we've obviously been able to get more larger distribution, more people being able to see the benefit of having an advisor or the benefit of working with our clients in their businesses. If you don't do any of these things, then obviously you will have a weaker relationship. Your customers will gravitate to a brand with a higher attraction. So you need to be doing something. You need to be visible. And even putting up a post on Facebook is not going to give you visibility. Everybody's putting posts up on Facebook. You need to have a strategic plan of how you're going to be boosting that post out, who you're going to be boosting it out to, what kind of customers you're going to be attracting. If you don't actually have yourself being visible, your brand will lose market share. You'll lose the ability to command higher margin and set financial values. So, how do we storytell? Well, obviously in the engine, our winning approach is the voice of the customer. Right back when I had my businesses in 2011, I used to send out customer surveys to all my clients. I used to send them out by like some 6 monthly, some annually, depending on different clients, just to get their voice and their opinions, just so I could actually know what they were thinking, so I could actually either improve on the promise or cater to their needs accordingly. So here at the engine, we basically do a customer survey. And with our customer survey, we get insights, we build opportunity, we gain testimonials, we present a call to action, and naturally through all of that, we create a framework to build our storytelling strategy. The voice of the customer improves and grows your business. Without a doubt, all our customers love the fact that we do this. And the fact that we do it independently means that we get, more results back than if the customer is going to be doing it themselves. So it's all in how we promote it. You've got to write your story, tell your story, and share your story. Here at the engine, we're really big with all our customers on creating lead pages. When you go onto Facebook, you'll see in your Facebook a lot of sponsored ads. Now, lead pages is an art. If you think about it, your website is broken down into a whole lot of different tabs, and the customer or the potential customer only has a space of maybe 30, 60 seconds to gain what they really need. But if they have to go through all the different tabs to find what they need from you, they're just going to come off your page. So by creating a lead page, you're building a sales funnel. With a lead page, the customer can save it. With a lead page, you can see how many people are viewing it. With a lead page, they can make a direct inquiry through Facebook, through the lead generation. There's a science in writing a lead page. A lead page must have the information that's drawing the customer in. It must have the endorsement of what you're going to be doing for them, and naturally also include customer testimonials. All of that they would have to go to multiple different tabs to on your website, it's all on the lead page. So as I said to you, we share our stories regularly across TV, social media, lead pages, podcasts, email campaigns, networking, speaking, print media, and partnership. Through being on TV, I was asked 6 weeks ago to present to 300 businesses across New Zealand in the retail space. If I hadn't had my TV show, they wouldn't have seen us. And through seeing us on the TV show, they said, we would like to have you come and present. I was lucky enough to be able to open their trade show and close their trade show 2 days later. It was actually a very humbling experience. But with a TV show, we've also been able to turn that TV show into a podcast. We're also able to get that TV show with repetition. So that TV show that we've got, even though we can't be filming right now, is constantly aired on Sky TV Channel 83. So all our clients have had enormous airtime and getting repetition and visibility. So what is your business story? So this is where I'm going to break out now, and I'm going to actually open the floor, and I'm actually going to ask you what your business story is. So who would be brave enough to just maybe give me a 20 seconds of what their business story is?
Okay. I did 1 year of a degree and didn't complete it, and then had no experience. So when I went to try and find a job in design, I couldn't. So I started my own job. That's how we started England.
So Dan, you can pick somebody else now.
Let's go with Candy.
Okay. My career is my passion. So I took my passion into my career. And from age of 21 up to now, I've been actively believe in my brand and my passion energy to drive me until 35 years. So my passion is my career. My career is my fitness. My fitness is transform people to be a healthy lifestyle and to be a better self. That's me, Candy Sue Fitness.
Awesome, Candy. Do you want to pick somebody else?
I will pick Melanie.
Thanks, Candy. That was excellent. We're all about people. So our brand is about our members, our customers, our people. That TNG is here to help businesses grow, that we help them do that through structured networking meetings and forums like this where people can share with each other. So the networking group is all about people. We're here to help people and to connect people.
Does anybody else want to have a go? Nigel?
Sure, I'll give it a go. I went through the corporate escalator, going from different countries, setting up different roles. I got headhunted from New Zealand to go across to Australia as general manager of both countries. And after a couple of restructures of the business, I ended up as managing partner Asia Pacific for an international telco consultancy. What I realized through all these travels was that any business is just widgets in, widgets out. As long as you've got the systems and processes in there, everyone is the same. So I have now taken that experience and I now give back to smaller businesses, give them my experience from the international part, the bigger picture, and bring it down to what they're doing and teach them to look at what do you do? Who is your audience? How do you communicate with them? And it's that simple. If you follow those steps, the sales will follow.
Absolutely. Really, really good, Nigel. Good wrap up there. So I'm just going to carry on with the presentation. Obviously, I'm giving you a whole lot of stuff in an hour that I would normally give to clients over a month. So there's going to be a lot of questions that you guys will or ladies and gentlemen will come back with. So do feel free to jump on the chat afterwards or reach out to Zoe and she can organise a meeting with you and I to have a one-to-one. So let's just carry on. Thank you very much for sharing your business story. Let's go to the next. Sorry, it's not sharing now. Not moving. Oh, I'm having technical difficulties. Sorry about this, people. Let me just go back to my presentation and find out why it's not moving. Right. Right, can everybody see it? Okay. I'm really sorry about this. It was moving and now it's just stopped moving on my computer.
It's about this time, Catherine, somebody really kind comes in and talks inane sort of stuff while you figure out what's going on with the technical stuff behind things. So I was really stimulated, just didn't yell out when you've got things back on, but I was really initially somewhat challenged when you said, what's your story? You know, going right back to, you know, why I got into what I'm doing. I work in the business coaching space. And after thinking about it for a few minutes and hoping the hell that nobody would pick me, I had this this inspiration. And I remember my journey into business was almost by accident. I had a corporate background and just tell me when you're back online, eh? Had a corporate background, got really annoyed with that and sort of fell into my first business without having any idea at all about why I was getting into business. So I can entirely relate to your story when you sat down with your, you know, with your team. But then, of course, as I went through my business journey, I worked out that being a business wasn't much fun. I was always running out of cash and had all sorts of people issues, and I was working 70 hours a week and so on and so forth. So when I took a decision to sell my last larger business, I thought I'm going to bring that those learnings, if you like, into a space where I can help, you know, smaller, particularly medium-sized businesses work out why the hell in business and get some sort of plan around it. So that's, I guess, my background story.
Cool.
Thanks, Malcolm, for sharing that with us. I really appreciate it. All right, so I'm just going to move. Can I move on now, Dan? Is it all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm going to go into secret number 2. Secret number 2 is building collateral is essential, but doesn't need to be expensive. So you don't need to clean your bank account out. So building collateral must be committed to in your cash flow. You do need to have a solid plan on how you will maximize the distribution and obviously get the return on investment. But think of it like this. If you committed to a marketing strategy that was to create some video content, you could put that video content into lead pages, into newsletters, into blogs, into a whole raft of different things. Don't think that creating a video is just to put a post up on Facebook. Think of a video as a strategy that you can roll out over multiple different distribution channels. Get yourself on TV or podcast or do live yourself. You can easily do a live Facebook. You can set up an event on Facebook and invite people to come along and do that. You've got your networking group. You can invite people to come along and watch you on your Facebook, but get involved, get amongst it. When you're on LinkedIn, look at other people that are broadcasting and get involved with talking to them about how you could possibly align with them and be on their podcast. Create a brand story that embodies you. We've got some case studies that we've worked on. I'll let you go and have a look at them rather than trying to get the video running again, simply because I don't want to stop the presentation. But maybe you might want to make a note of these companies that we've done videos for, and then in your own time, you can go on YouTube and have a look at them. For example, there's Sunshine Food. When Sunshine Foods came to work with us at the Engine, they had no digital presence to build from. And that was quite a symptom for a lot of businesses last year, and also, believe it or not, this year, is that they're still operating with a website where they could be transacting from it. So with Sunshine Food, we created a new brand for them here at the Engine. We also created a new website for them. We've created an e-commerce platform, and we've also had them on TV and building video content. With Ananda Tours, they lost their main client overnight through border closures. They had to recreate themselves from an international business to a national business. They had to get their messaging right for Kiwis to be able to go over there. Cinderella, they also had no digital presence. They don't want to be on e-commerce, but they created video content, and they were also affected by border closures because a lot of their clientele were from the Asian market. So worldwide and in our own backyard of 2020, it just highlighted just how much businesses like me back in 2007, when I didn't have a vision, were flying by the seat of their pants and they were rudderless. So communicating was key to survival, stabilization, and ongoing success. So the key takeaway for that session is how you can get your brand spend to have an impact without it costing an arm and a leg. Well, I would encourage you to contact us here at the Engine. We have built up an amazing way to make your money work for you. Our clients who've been on TV have now got those TV shows in all of their collateral going out in blogs. It's going out in lead pages. They're also getting business and they're getting repetition for being on TV. Secret number 3 is distribution is the secret ingredient to getting the best bang for your dollar. Sorry, did somebody say something? I can't see everybody. Is somebody talking to me?
It's okay, Catherine. Malcolm wasn't muted. He's muted now.
Okay, thank you. So the solution is if you have visible brand, you'll generate affinity. Affinity converts to brand equity, which drives people to purchase. My question to you is, are you visible or invisible? If you're not constantly getting your brand or your product out in front of your ideal client, you will be forgotten. Being seen is critical in building and retaining your community. This is what happens. This is the result of not advertising. You'll see big brands and small brands get affected, but all the years of advertising that they do, if they don't continue with it, they've lost all that wonderful work and their growth will decrease. So how did we do our distribution here at the Engine? We cross-marketed to a YouTube channel. We cross-marketed not just to our YouTube channel, but to all the YouTube channels, as well as the Facebook channels of all the clients that we had on the Engine Business TV show. We created an Engine Business TV show. We're the first here in New Zealand to take TV to digital. No one has done that at the same time. The only way you can do that is if you go and rob a bank and you got a TV crew there like watching it at the same time. So we've done that as a first. We've also taken our Engine Business TV show to a podcast. We've created lead generation campaigns for our clients. We've done customer and employee surveys, and we create video content. We're doing all of this to spread the news about who we are. This was our audience reach in April and May, and our audience reach is still there. Obviously, I did this presentation, so I haven't updated it, but we had 500,000 audience reach, and we've got 30,000 engagements and 94 page likes. This is the result of omni-channel advertising. I can't fake this. This is real. This is from Facebook. So on our Engine Business TV show, we've got 100,000 viewers on Face TV, 400,000 plus Facebook viewers, 300,000 YouTube viewers, and our podcast is now approved on Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio. Our newsletter goes out to 15,000 businesses, blogs, lead pages, social, it's everywhere. People are saying we see the Engine everywhere. Now, when you go onto someone's YouTube channel, just because they might have 3 subscribers or 26 views, that's only showing you what was seen on that channel. It's not showing you the wider reach that video will be getting. So don't be deceived by that. So the key takeaway on that message is focus on your customer value, grow the value, and target customers individually through brand repetition, coupled with a clever distribution and a message that matches your brand promise. The 80-20 rule, look after what you have and the rest will follow. For me here at the Engine, I'm not looking for any more businesses. It happens organically. My clients refer me. People come organically by seeing the Engine everywhere. We are not doing any physical advertising. So use the 80-20 rule and the rest will follow. This is a case study of a client that I've worked with. Some of you may have seen me with this client on LinkedIn Live yesterday. This is Charles from Colonial Hot Tub. He's been around since 1970, or his company's been around since 1973, and they position themselves, their brand identity is trusted local. Everything is New Zealand made, everything has got his endorsement on it, and he, that's the whole local approach that we use with his business. So the summary of today is find out who you are and who your tribe is. Create real stories that align with your brand promise. Build a library of collateral that can be used with multiple marketing channels. Deliver a strategic customer loyalty plan that keeps your brand visible, frequent, personal, and builds a sales funnel. Review and collect feedback regularly from your assets, your customers, and your employees, and work with an expert. As I always say to people, you only know what you know, and what you don't know is what you're missing. So the point of being here today, tell your story. It's simple, but look at omni-channel distribution. Look at who you can connect with and always remain at the front of your customers' minds. So what you didn't know is that you will know from what you now know from what I'm about to tell you, is that you as a business can get up to co-funding of $5,000 for us to help deliver on all presented today. So you can get co-funded through the Regional Business Partner Network for up to $5,000 for us to help you deliver on what I've presented today. So get in touch with us. That's our QR code. If you want to snapshot the screen, that'll take you to our website. That'll leave you with our details. And at the engine, we're always delivering golden gems every day through proven experience. And that was my presentation, I believe, with 15 minutes to spare to have questions. And I will say to you, everybody, it is so damn hard presenting through a screen like this. I much prefer presenting when I'm actually in front of people. So I'm now going to say, I hope you guys are putting your hand up to be the next presenter. Any questions on anything I presented today, even just to ask me a little bit about some of the things that I've done?
Hi, Catherine. I've got a question.
Sure, Candy. Nice to meet you, by the way.
Thank you. Because I'm in the fitness industry for more than 35 years and carry my brand called Candy Sue Fitness. I was from, age of 35, there was then me, and then up to 40, that's me, and then now up to 60. I'm 60 right now. So I feel that my brain have changed from like a teenager to mature lady, and then now into a little bit more mature lady up to 60. So it's pretty confusing for me to where to focus. So what is your advice?
So my advice would be that you have a wealth of experience for, let's just say you started your fitness, you said at 35, right?
Yeah, no, I'm starting 21.
So from when?
I start my age 21, but I got my business from 35 years old.
So you've got 40 years of experience. So why can't you be sharing that experience across all those areas? So it's like me here at the Engine. My business, I work with startups. I work with businesses that have been, mature businesses that need help to go to the next level. And I work with a sort of an exit strategy for businesses. So it will be about tailoring your offering to different people. So in terms of the young people, you can share that wealth of experience to that brand group. Therefore, your messaging is going to be quite specific to that group. So you're talking from experience. Yep. And you're using that experience. Then you go to the next group and you talk from that experience. And then you go to the next group and you relate. So it's about targeting your message and being specific. So I would say don't discount all of those groups, but look at using that experience wisely across the experience of each group. That's what I would be looking at doing. And I'd love to dive into that more with you.
Another question, sorry guys, I've got some questions.
Oh, absolutely.
Have a YouTube channel, but I have it when I was 30 something. And then now my video, you can see the age of me right now. I'm trying to put my blonde hair me in there. You think I should just open up a new channel of YouTube or continue doing what I'm doing?
Look, be who you are, and you are who you just keep adding to the channel. If you go and create another channel, you've lost all that lovely stuff that you had. Remember, you can actually remarket to those people that you've had previously. And if you had it back 35 and they're 60, they still want to be talking to you. So don't discount it. I would continue with the same channel. And can I just say one thing? As much as I don't like turning up sometimes and talking to a screen like this, just be who you are, be authentic, be you. And as much as you provided that confidence to people to turn up and do fitness, don't worry about the blonde hair. I would never have thought that you were 60. I'm here not for your looks or your age. I'm here for your experience. And I'm here for, and I'm putting my trust in you. And that's what my clients say to me. So what I didn't say to all of you guys is that I have had adversity in my life, like all of you will all have adversity along the way. So in 2013, I lost all my businesses. I got defrauded and I lost them. And I had to reinvent myself, Candy. Not reinvent myself as being a different person, but reinvent myself as to where was I going to go. And, through my own testament, I didn't go bankrupt, but it was a really difficult time. And my confidence really took a real hit. It took a real hit because I was a flying businesswoman. I had 3 companies, $10 million turnover. And then I went from all of that to nothing. And it was a complete shock. And I can tell you, I remember sitting on my couch going, how do I recover from this? What am I going to do? And then this little voice in my head said, you will do what you've always done. Get off the couch and get going. And I've used my experience to help other businesses. Just to give you an example, normally I would have a portfolio of about 10 to 12 clients. Last year at one particular time, I had 69 clients and I kept them coming through the door and I didn't lose one client. But each client had a different problem. And each client just needed me to be sharing my experience. So Candy, that's what I would be doing, is sharing your experience. Never give up on what you already know and put that passion, your dream, and build it into different channels and speak to those audiences differently.
Thank you. That's a good help. Thank you.
Is that helpful?
Yeah, yeah, it does. It gave me a bit more focus what I'm going to do. Because I lost focus sometimes, you know.
And that is a symptom of entrepreneurs, and I'm exactly the same person as we have to step out of our business and work on our business to be focused. So give yourself permission to step out and focus on what you need to be doing, okay, to get clarity and purpose. And Candy, I'm happy to dive into that further with you if you need me.
Yeah, yeah, perfect. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Jane, I've not met you. What do you do?
Hi. Yeah, I do residential sales with Bath and Thompson. So I'm one of those real estate people. So I sort of have two brands. I have the Barfoot brand and I have my own personal brand within that grouping, so to speak. So it's a personal brand that I sometimes struggle with presenting concisely and quickly.
Yeah, and real estate is an industry that's moving quite fast, right? And you know, there is a lot of fierce competition, and last year popped up a whole lot more real estate agents to compete with.
Oh yeah.
So I guess for me, my advice to you would really be to work on getting those customer testimonials and turning them out, and even getting videos. So I know it's hard to do videos right now while we're in lockdown, but let's just say when you're actually, you know, the person is actually getting the keys for the house, get a video of them, get photos with you, you know, and use that collateral and spin it out.
Yeah, they're quite often very nervous about doing that. I think that's changing, but a lot of people are like, oh no, I don't want to be on video, or I don't, you know. Yeah, they don't mind you taking a photo of them for their sign, but they do mind if it's going to be out there in the world. But I think that that's changing. I have noticed it's a difference, but I do get the written testimonials from them.
So make sure you put those testimonials in a whole raft of different things. Put them in the lead pages that you might create. Create lead page funnels. You do that, then, you know, obviously when people go to Barfoot and Thompson, you'll only have a one pager or a photo of you, which makes it really hard for people to go, well, which real estate agent do I go with? But you can also create your own lead page. It can be banked on the back of Barfoot and Thompson, and you can run that out. So it's almost like a one pager website that you create, and you can put your testimonials in, and you can change your testimonials. And Jane, you only need 1 or 2 videos. Yeah. And I've taken clients who would normally be kicking and screaming to do these videos, and now I can't get them to stop doing videos. So I guess it's also to tell them the power of promotion for them, depending on who they are. And I respect some people still want privacy, but let's say your company, let's say you sell a house to Catherine Cooke at the engine. So you could, by us doing a video, I'm going to be promoting the engine at the same time.
Yeah, true.
So that could be a gem moment for you. And look, they can still say, excuse me, they can still say no, and you have to respect that. But get a video, get something.
Yeah, because at the moment it's just, I'm one of thousands of real estate agents. And with real estate agents, they all say, I'm fantastic, I do this really well. You know, nobody stands there and goes, well, I'm going to rip you off and I'm really dubious, pick me. They all have the same story of, yeah, I'm fantastic, I'm the best.
Yeah. Well, let me give you another tip. I'm working with a company called Downright Brilliance. They're about to rebrand called Open Door Marketing. And one thing I know to be true is that it can take 10 to 12 touch points before someone will actually convert with you. So what Downright Brilliant does is that they create newsletters for you, because let's face it, real estate agents are time poor, because you're running from one thing to another. You're doing a lot of assessment that may, you've got to build your pipeline up. But they create the monthly newsletters and they give it to you, and they give you a geographical area, and you get those 10 to 12 touch points because you own that area with that newsletter. So your newsletter will be a different newsletter in the letterbox every month, and you'll get those 10 to 12 touch points of visibility of James for that geographical area, and it works.
Yeah, I've got a newsletter set up. Unfortunately, it was just ready to launch in a new area just as we went into lockdown, really. So I'm targeting a new area.
Sorry to interject there, guys, but perhaps we're running a bit short on time, so we need to move on. But definitely do connect, Jane, with Catherine. Sounds like there's plenty of options there to chat through. What we'll do, thank you so much, Catherine. What we'll do now is we'll just do a quick wrap around the room. Take about 30 seconds, just introduce yourself, what you do, and maybe something that you got out of the meeting, and then we will wrap up. So thanks, everyone. So let's start with you, Kaz, and we'll move on through the screen. So Kaz.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Catherine. I got heaps out of that today. I've been toying with the videoing. I've just invested in the microphone system because most of my stuff will obviously be outside and on the move. So I'm trying to kind of build confidence around that. So thank you for that. I'm kind of just gave me that kick up the pants that, just get it done kind of thing. But yeah, I'm Kaz from Paws Perfect Dog Training. I'm a dog trainer based just north of Albany. I work with people to have fun while they're training their dogs. I do that using a lot of positive science-based methods and motivate the people to be able to want to do the training with their dogs because they get the results out of it. So if you know of anyone who's, running around or being dragged around rather by their dog, or running around the beach screaming at them, trying to get them to come back, is really frustrated, then that's something I can definitely help people with. That's Kaz from Paws Perfect Dog Training, learning games for life.
Awesome. Thanks, Kaz. Jeff from Hughes Chud.
Morning, everyone. Thank you, Catherine. That was fantastic. I did love the marketing as a date and the brand, the reason you say yes. That's a little pearl. I think that's fantastic. We're small to medium-sized business accountants based in Birkenhead, full suite. And what we've been helping a lot recently is a lot of small businesses who are really struggling through the lockdown. So our biggest struggle at the moment is being able to charge the clients for that help because they're already struggling. So we're really finding it difficult to help them yet feel the need to charge for our time. So if you know of anybody who's struggling at the moment, needs a bit of help with accounting and accounts, we're the people.
Awesome, thank you. Nigel.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks, Catherine. Some very interesting points in there. Name's Nigel Eakins, my company Phoenix Consultancy, and we are specialists on back-end systems and processes. If you focus on those, I can always find those extra profits in your business, which is hiding in plain sight. So Jeff, maybe you and I should have a separate discussion afterwards, because I'm sure I can find ways of working with some of your clients. And contras are always topic of the day. Hasn't got to be cash every time. So anyone wants an open discussion, give me a call. You've got my number right underneath me there. It's Nigel, Phoenix Consultancy. Thanks.
Thanks, Nigel. Candy.
Hi, my name is Candy Sue. I am a personal trainer and a transformation coach, experienced 35 years in fitness, and I run 2 outlets at the moment, one in Albany and one in Warkworth. So at the moment, I'm running personal training on Zoom and also group classes on Zoom. I also run corporate wellness for people who want to be healthy. And my programs are very simple. I'm not training someone to be a bikini models or bodybuilders. I'm taking someone from normal life to where they want to be healthy, can losing weight loss and everything. So with the 28 Days Be Healthy project that I'm taking you where you are now and where you want to be. And is more about kicking your bad habit into the good habit. So it takes time to get you into that phase. It takes 21 days to kick your bad habits. So this is Candy Sue looking after your wellness, and it's personal. Thank you.
Yashwan, well, can't hear you. Sorry, there might be a... Cool.
Cool. Hi, my name is Yashwan Glal. I'm a chiropractor. I'm based in Parnell. At the moment, obviously, it's lockdown. We are healthcare providers based on making sure that people are functioning to their optimum level. So at this moment, being in lockdown, everyone is stressed and anxious and all that. Postural issues are very major component in terms of that. So my role is making sure that your nervous system is working and making sure that your information is going back and forward from your brain to your body correctly how it should be. So that's me. Catherine, lovely presentation. I really enjoyed it because whatever you spoke about tribe storytelling, that's what precisely we're working on at the moment with our partners, these 4 of us. So we rebranding and getting that all that brain work, working on that, trying to get what we are and how we do it. So that made everything made sense. Thank you. That's me.
Thank you. Katie?
Yeah, I'd like to echo all of those words. Catherine, it was a great presentation, and I took so many notes, so I took a lot from it, so thank you very much. So once you've figured out that you need a brand strategy and you need to do a brand story, I can help write the words to make that happen. So I am a copywriter and editor, and this week I wanted to share that I can work with you whatever state your words are in. So some of my clients just come to me with a word vomited on the page, and I can turn it into a beautiful blog or website. I specialize in the longer stuff, so websites, blogs, case studies, ebooks, and I like really bringing up the benefits of working with you rather than focusing on the features. So yeah, I'd love to catch up over Zoom or send me a text and we'll catch up. Thank you.
Jane.
Right, so you heard what I do and who I am, and what I got out of that, interestingly, it was something, Catherine, you mentioned again, was that lead page idea. So that was the one takeaway that really stood out for me when you were talking. So yeah, that's my takeaway. I'll let someone else speak now.
Cool, thanks, Jane. Ken.
Yeah, g'day. Ken Jackson from the Mortgage Lab. Recently been working with some clients who we got them their first home and now they're selling and buying again and helping them navigate auctions, which is always challenging time-wise. So they need bridging finance to get everything in place. So we're doing all that work for them. But yeah, Ken Jackson, the Mortgage Lab.
Baptist.
Good afternoon, TNG. Catherine, always excellent as always. I love your enthusiasm, passion, and that has always been there. My name is Baptist and I represent Tax Advantage. We help businesses to prosper and grow. And how we do that? By offering a number of services like accounting, bookkeeping, taxation, auditing, and valuation of businesses. With IRD dishing out a number of notifications which are confusing. The last one, which was regarding interest deductibility and new builds, people are really confused. We are here to help you out to remove that confusion and give you that clarity So if you know anybody who is struggling either with accounting, taxation, or any of the services which you have offered, you know who to call. Baptist Lobo, Tax Advantage.
Thanks, Baptist. Nisha. And just unmute yourself. You just need to unmute yourself, Nisha.
Sorry. Okay. Right. I'm from BGC Accountants. We are a small to medium-sized accounting business out in Taupaki. And what we do at the moment is help the clients getting their wage subsidies and their resurgence, because that is really complicated for some customers. Yet, like one of the other clients said, that it's very difficult to charge those hours out, even though they take quite a bit of our time. But what we rely on mainly is we don't do advertising. We only get word of mouth customers. So our happy customers refer us our future clients. We've been in business for 25 years.
Cool. Thanks, Nisha. Let's move on to Garth.
Oh, thanks, Dan, and thanks, Catherine. I'm Garth Partridge, National Groups Manager, one of the owners of the networking group, and I help business owners get better results from their business networking. I'm a glutton, and I've got an appetite for learning about business and sharing what I learn with other business owners so that I can help them make more money and have more time and get better results from their team. Thanks, Catherine. Great presentation. Thanks, Dan, Melanie. Awesome initiative to have the Connect online. Well done. Cheers.
Awesome. Thanks. Well, there's me. So I run Ingot, which is a digital design studio. So we work in the web space. So what we do is we help businesses better communicate what they do on their website and then use their website as a functional tool as well. So, you know, you could be selling, you could be marketing, you could be using it as a brochure. But essentially, if you're going to be paying good money for a website, you want it to be both beautiful and a tool for your business to automate things. So those are the businesses that we love to work with, the ones that are in a transition period, they're growing, they need to have an online space that they can use as a resource and a marketing tool that's effective. And obviously branding is super important because what we do is just the visual communication of words. So, you know, if you have all of that down, it really helps when you are trying to build out the website to be cost effective and really target who they're trying to target. So that's what we do. That's Dan from Ingot. And last but not least, we have Melanie. So
thanks, Dan.
Anything from the team desk?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I invite you all to check out our new lead page on our website, www.tng.org.nz. So the benefit for you is we have a live calendar. You no longer need to wait for your Monday blog for all of the upcoming meetings so you can sort out your calendars. So we're really excited. We think that's a huge benefit for our members. So the live calendar. On our lead page, we also have our YouTube library and we have our testimonials. So please check out our new website and give us your feedback. Thanks, Dan.
Yes, so good to see the new website go live. It has been a long time coming. It's way easier to use. Well, thanks once again. Thanks, Catherine and Zori from the Engine for sharing wealth of advice. Do connect with them if you have any questions, and we'll be back in next fortnight, 10:30 again. So thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend, and see you later.